A funny incident occurred in the Canadian city of Vancouver. A courier entered the elevator with a box of pizza, opened it and, thinking that he did not see it, began to actively eat the filling. After he puts the pizza back. However, a hungry deliveryman, thanks to a surveillance camera, was noticed by a security guard at home, and he informed a resident waiting for a treat about what was happening. In the U.S. town of Bottle, Washington, surveillance cameras captured a woman's attempt to steal parcels left by a delivery service on the doorstep of a residential building. The thief took the packages, but managed to go only a couple of steps, after which she fell and injured her leg. Pacing the supermarket in search of shopping, this guy came across a mirror. He did not suspect that there was a camera behind him, so he began to play with his muscles. It got to the point that he even took off his t-shirt, and when he finished, he left the store without buying anything. In the Thai province of Chumphon, a monk stole an iPhone lying on the table of a seller of one of the local stores. An unknown man hid a smartphone under his clothes when an employee was distracted. The incident got on a surveillance camera installed in a supermarket. In the United States, a dog stole pancakes from a stove and started a fire. The pet decided to enjoy the pancakes that his mistress left on the stove. In the process of getting food, he accidentally turned on one of the burners. A few minutes later, the dishes that stood on the stove caught fire, firemen say. Fortunately, the house has a fire alarm, so the rescuers arrived on time, and the owners saved their property. Arsenty Kazarian and Alexander Semiglazov barely saved a 3-year-old boy, who did not understand how he ended up on one of the railways in Sochi from a passing train. Despite the appearance of the train, the baby remained in place. One of the guards grabbed the child from under the wheels of the train literally at the last moment. A little girl walks around the cabin, and sits with her back to the glass of the shop window. At one point, shooting begins, and 2 bullets fly in centimeters from the child's head. Arriving police officers found out that Michael David Hart and Rafael Santos fired on a tattoo parlor located next door. 2 bullets accidentally flew into the hairdresser. In these frames, the man lays out the paper on the table. At that moment, a boy appears in the room, who jumps on the chair on which the man has been sitting for a while and rolls on it to the refrigerator. The man, not knowing that the seat is no longer in place, confidently tries to sit down and falls. In Turkey, a car mechanic discovered a car that he had left on the eve with severe damage. The man turned to the police, and they, in turn, decided to view the recordings from the surveillance cameras. The results of the investigation were extremely interesting. The offender escaped from a cell through a food distribution window. For this he needed no more than 3 minutes. However, for this he had to completely undress.